Hi, I'm Joya DeVita with Real 360, and I'm here with Samantha Aucoin from the new show Astrid and Lilly Save the World on Sci-Fi. Thank you so much, first of all, for taking the time to do this. I know you're probably super busy with the success of your show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. So my first question is, how did you get the role of Lilly?
It was really crazy. I did do some stage work when I was younger, and I kind of took a break from that, and I pursued music and songwriting, and that's primarily what I was doing. Then I signed on with this agency, Book It Talent Agency, and my current agent, Emily, she submitted me for the role of Lily just this past year, and I ended up getting a callback for it, and I'd never gotten a callback for anything before, and then I ended up getting the role. So yeah, it all happened really quickly. I was actually working in childcare at the time. And so I know I was in school for music, and I was also working in childcare when I got the role. So life just kind of changed really quickly for me.
Oh, that is so awesome. And you did, everything is in Canada, right? The show is filmed in Canada
Yeah.
and you live in Canada. So that's
Yes.
pretty convenient for you. Is it far from where you currently live? Was it a big
Yes.
commute?
Yeah, so the show filmed in this on this island in St. John's, and it's basically just really tiny small town vibe, and it's a huge cultural shock for sure. Everyone has these like really thick accents, really thick Canadian accents. It's kind of like mixed with Irish, and it was a really beautiful place to film, but it was very far from where I live. I'm from Toronto, and it's about flying. Actually, I think it's about like a 4 hour flight. So it's
Like on the
fairly
other side of Canada?
it's not that far. It's not as far as Vancouver is to Toronto, but it's like on the east coast.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah.
So now I'm going to get really heavy. In the first episode, the characters suffer some really brutal bullying and fat
Yeah.
shaming.
Yeah.
Was that difficult for you, like as a human being, to deal with that as an actress and as the
Yeah.
character? How
Yeah.
was that
I mean,
scene
it
for you?
it was it was extremely difficult to be so vulnerable in front of in front of a camera, and doing a scene like that. I was definitely able to pull from past experiences in high school, and I think that helped me, portray the character and portray and hopefully did the scene justice. But it was really difficult. Yeah, I mean, I had my best friend on screen and off screen, Jana, beside me, and we've both gone through those similar experiences. So we had each other, and we had each other offset and on set. So that I just felt I was going through it with another person, and we were kind of able to relate to the situation that was happening. So yes, it was definitely difficult, but super necessary. And I'm really happy that we were able to show a scene like that on a TV show, because that phobia is such a thing. It's so prevalent, and happy we get to represent that in the show.
So that is something that you've experienced in real life, like
Oh,
up in your
oh,
face
totally.
like that. People are
Totally.
that
Yeah,
way.
I've definitely experienced outward bullying, but I've also experienced, just being treated differently because I'm bigger. Whether it's just not getting invited to as many places, maybe in high school, or just various things that it was very clear due to the way I looked was the reason I was, getting treated differently. So I kind of experienced it on both ends, meaning like I experienced, being outwardly bullied, but also just kind of like it was very easy to read that I was getting treated differently. Yeah.
And you mentioned your BFF, Jana Morrison. So you're
Yes.
friends in real life as well as it's not like you just go to work and you go your separate ways. Like you're
Yeah.
actually bonded as
Yeah.
friends
No, I
now.
mean, we had no idea. We didn't know each other before the show. So we had met for the first time in St. John's on the island where we filmed. And like from the moment we met each other, we just kind of clicked instantly. I mean, we started hanging out with each other all the time, off set as well. We were together tons on set. When the show wrapped in December, we actually took like 2 weeks off of each other, sort of, and then I went and I flew to Victoria, which is where she lives in Canada, and I flew to be with her for a month, and then or no, for 2 weeks. Sorry, I was with her for 2 weeks, and then we flew together to Los Angeles for a month. So we've been together a lot, and I'm seeing her in 2 weeks now. So we became really fast friends. So it was really fun.
how you were in Los Angeles for a month, you said?
Yeah,
How was
yeah.
that for you? What did you do?
Oh,
Was it fun?
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of press stuff, which was really fun. But the creators of the show, Astrid and Lilly, they live in Los Angeles, so we were able to see them. I was there for the premiere of the show, which was really nice, and there was just a group of friends and some cast members were able to attend, and we got to watch the show together. So it was really lovely.
Oh, that's super fun. How do you feel that this show compares to other shows that attempt to address body positivity? Are there any shows that you can think of that have more average looking human beings than just the stick figures that we've been grown accustomed to over the decades?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a good amount of shows, not enough though. I think there's not enough representation in the media, but I mean, in Euphoria we have the friend Kat. She's representative of plus size women, which I love, and I love watching her on the show. And I'm trying to think. I mean, the thing that I find is that usually when you see a plus size woman on a screen, it's usually to be the punchline. It's usually to be made fun of, and they usually address how fat they are, and it's you don't we don't really get to experience a lot of body neutrality in TV. So I'm really happy that we get to show body neutrality and show the effects of body dysmorphia in the show in a more serious, slightly more serious way. I mean, the show is not a serious show, but I do think I do think that those topics are handled in a serious way, and so I'm very appreciative of that.
Um, where do you take your inspiration from as an actress, and who are your role models in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I always loved like Anne Hathaway. Always loved her acting and everything. She just seems like such a sweet person. Huge fan of Ryan Gosling. He's also Canadian, which is cool. And yeah, I think I think those two people I definitely you take inspiration from. Just honestly anyone who isn't afraid to be themselves, which I know kind of sounds funny. Celebrities being themselves, it's kind of hard to tell and to see, but usually you can kind of tell when someone's being more authentic. So honestly, just anyone who brings themselves, basically.
Was there any one scene or episode that was especially fun for you that you just like had the best time? Can you tell us about it without spoiling anything?
Yes. Definitely the most fun episode I got to film was episode 8. And I think it's just because it has my favorite monster in it. And there's also this really nice special homage to a classic film in that episode. I won't say what it is because it's a bit of a spoiler, but that happens, and I do love that. And then I also end up in this sort of contraption. Again, I won't go into too much detail because it will spoil the episode. But yeah, I'm in this really weird thing for a little bit of that episode. So there's a lot of fun things that happen in it, and I'm really excited for viewers to watch it.
Oh, that sounds super fun. On your Instagram, you seem so much more glamorous than your character. If you could give your character any advice, what would you tell Lilly she needs to be doing?
Honestly, Lilly is her own. She's her own person, and I love that. She tries to express herself in different ways. Physically and what she's wearing. I think honestly, all I would say to her is just to, own the clothing that she wants to wear. I don't think glam is her vibe, and if it is, maybe it just not yet. I mean, me personally, I do love a good full glam, and I love makeup, and I love clothes, and I love shopping. But I feel like that's not really Lily's lane, Lily's style. So I definitely feel like any advice I'd have to her is just to own it, own what she wants to do, and own the clothing that she wants to wear for sure.
And do you enjoy any other sci-fi TV shows or movies? Like, do you watch comic book movies or Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, like
what are you into and what are you binging?
yeah, totally. I mean,
I'm binging Euphoria, but that's not sci-fi. But
Talk about that.
besides Euphoria, oh my gosh, besides Euphoria, I was always a huge fan of like the Vampire Diaries, which is a CW show, but it's sort of like a supernatural show. Yeah, and I really love like Marvel. So I've been a huge fan of Marvel. Me and my brothers and my dad, we all love it, and we all watch it. So yeah, those are definitely some sci-fi-esque things that I enjoy.
So your show's been compared to Buffy, but without the male gaze. Are you familiar with Buffy? Did you ever get into it, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, so
too old for
I
you?
ended up watching it mostly. I mean, I had seen bits and pieces before, and I knew what it was before the show, but I definitely hadn't watched a lot of it before the show, and I've watched more now because I knew it was such a huge inspiration for the show, and our creators are huge fans of Buffy. So I kind of watched it, for the show, and ended up really loving it. But yeah, no, it wasn't really airing when I was growing up. So just naturally, I just didn't end up watching it.
And how would you handle it if you accidentally opened a portal to another universe in real life?
How would I handle it? I mean, if I did it with someone, just like Lilly ended up doing it with her best friend, how would I handle it? I mean, like, I feel like maybe I wouldn't be so trusting of a monster that came out of it. Probably would go to like the police or the government or something. Definitely probably wouldn't keep it to myself. But to each their own.
That's always
Lilly
the
and
problem
Astrid,
that the teenagers have in like all these genres. Like they never tell the adults. They just like go with it.
And it's honestly just tell your mom, just tell your dad if you have parents or authority figures, just tell someone, because like it'll probably be a better outcome than you doing it on your own. But and I do love that Astrid and Lilly have this secret together, and I think it plays really well in the show.
So what's in store for you next? Do you have any other projects that you're working on? Is there music that you're recording? Sorry, that's my cat.
I'm currently working on an EP that I'll hopefully be releasing this year. So that's going to be coming out soon, and I'll probably release a single from that EP as well in the next couple of months. So fingers crossed. And I've just been auditioning for different things. I have some things that I'm on hold for. So yeah, I'm excited to see where life takes me.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And good luck with the show. I'm going to keep watching it. I added it to my list, and I love sci-fi series, so it should be super fun.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.